I started Laduma 18 years ago. And one of the critical things when I started Laduma was there wasn't information about the black market, because in soccer in South Africa, it's predominantly a black sport. And I played, incidentally, you talk about ex-soccer, but I used to play professional soccer in South Africa and overseas. So there wasn't a lot of information. And being a so-called white guy in a so-called black market, even though I love football and I know football, and I felt I had a good sense of what, an instinct of what the market would want, I had to do research, and the most simple, and because we didn't have a lot of money at the start, the most simple research proved to be the best research. I had to perform the most basic research that is, and it's the most important research, and that is ask and listen. And ask in such a way that you're not predetermining the answer. Ask in such a way that you leave a space to hear what you don't know, not what you know. And that's been a critical factor. So in finding out what I don't know versus telling people what I know and using that as the basis of their answer, which is obviously very limiting, we created a scenario where, amazingly, we had, relative to other newspapers, more and more letters and emails coming through. Well, it started off only with letters and faxes. Now everything's on email, so we can see the growth of our reader from that fact in itself. So it really became an exercise where our readers from day one started participating in content and participating in what they want in the publication, because we created that environment. So much so, incidentally, we were the first to ever do this, and we still do it, is that in interviews and in articles, we actually used readers' names. And from the area, you know, Joe Khumalo from Davidton asks you this question, the player would answer directly to Joe Khumalo. And as you can imagine, what kind of effect it had when Joe Khumalo in Davidton saw this and all his friends. Then a miracle happened. The digital world arrived, and bizarrely, we were positioned perfectly for this, because the cell phone and emails, etc., just allowed this whole thing to amplify. So the content and our in touch with the reader, and then obviously the user as well via the internet and obviously the mobile phone, the more this grew, the more we realized, well, actually, we didn't realize, we even were led by the readers. They just said, oh, we've got a better way now to communicate with you and tell you what we think. And it just multiplied to a really large amount, and we almost couldn't cope. The digital side skyrocketed because we were providing so much content, because there was so much feedback from the readers. The content is not what the editor wants. It's what the public wants. With the newspaper selling 340,000 copies, 330,000 copies a week, with AMSAIN over 3.4 million readers, all very successful and continuing to grow. The digital side, we have, according to effective measures, over 2 million unique users a month and over 55 million page impressions a month. So it's huge. Our Facebook, nearly 1 million likes, and the Twitter, over 200,000. So the community is very huge. As little as 3 years ago, 80 to 90% of all our users were on feature phone. It's now 60% on smartphone. So we can tell you that very simple research, which is the best research, that 18 years ago, all of our readers were sending us handwritten letters or handwritten faxes. Now we get 100% via email. It's grown from letters to smartphone. So that shows you, and we're a very good example of the black male. We probably reach 19% of black males in South Africa. So you can see that very clear growth